Have you ever felt like life is rushing by too fast? Like you're always busy, but never really getting anywhere? Well, what if I told you that the secret to a richer, more fulfilling life might be to slow down? Slow living might sound boring or unproductive at first. You might think it's just for lazy people or those who've given up on their dreams. But here's the thing. Slow living is actually a powerful way to find real peace and happiness. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing things with more purpose and enjoyment. By slowing down, we can actually connect with what truly matters in life. It's like when you're eating your favorite meal. If you gobble it down quickly, you might miss out on all the flavors. But when you eat slowly, savoring each bite, you enjoy it so much more. That's what slow living does for your whole life. Now, you might be thinking, but I can't slow down. I have too much to do. And that's exactly the problem. In our fast-paced world, we're often told that being busy all the time is good. That if we're not constantly doing something, we're falling behind. But here's the real danger. If we don't learn to slow down, we might miss out on the beauty of life itself. Think about it. When was the last time you really enjoyed a sunset? Or had a long, meaningful conversation with a friend without checking your phone? When did you last do something just because it made you happy, not because you had to? If we keep rushing through life, we risk ending up stressed, burned out, and full of regret. We might reach our goals, but at what cost? Our health? Our relationships? Our happiness? The stakes are high. By always being busy, we're gambling with the quality of our lives. So, what exactly is slow living? It's not about moving in slow motion or never getting anything done. Slow living is a way of life that values quality over quantity, meaning over materialism, and contentment over constant craving. It's about making conscious choices about how we spend our time and energy. At its core, slow living is connected to spirituality, but not in a complicated or religious way. It's spiritual in the sense that it helps us connect with ourselves, others, and the world around us on a deeper level. Imagine you're walking down a busy street. In our usual fast-paced life, we might rush from point A to point B, hardly noticing anything around us. But with slow living, we might take the time to notice the smell of fresh bread from a bakery, smile at a stranger, or appreciate the architecture of the buildings. It's about being present in the moment and finding joy in simple things. Slow living also means being intentional about our choices. Instead of saying yes to everything and overloading our schedules, we carefully choose what's truly important. It's about quality time with loved ones, pursuing passions that light us up, and taking care of our physical and mental health. This doesn't mean giving up on goals or ambitions. In fact, slow living can help us achieve more meaningful success. When we're not constantly exhausted and stressed, we have more energy and creativity for the things that really matter to us. It's like the difference between a sprinter and a marathon runner. The sprinter might be faster in short bursts, but the marathon runner can go much further. Slow living is also about reconnecting with natural rhythms. In our modern world, we often ignore the natural cycles of day and night, seasons, and even our own body's needs. Slow living encourages us to pay attention to these rhythms and live in harmony with them. This might mean going to bed earlier, eating seasonal foods, or taking time to rest when we're tired instead of pushing through with caffeine. One important aspect of slow living is mindfulness. This doesn't mean you have to meditate for hours, although you can if you want to. Mindfulness in slow living is about being aware of what you're doing while you're doing it. It's about fully experiencing your life as it happens, rather than always thinking about the past or worrying about the future. Slow living also involves simplifying our lives. This doesn't necessarily mean getting rid of all your possessions and living like a monk. It's more about figuring out what's truly important to you and focusing on that. It might mean decluttering your home, saying no to commitments that don't align with your values, or cutting down on mindless scrolling through social media. Another key part of slow living is cultivating gratitude. When we slow down, we start to notice and appreciate the good things in our lives that we might have overlooked before. This could be as simple as enjoying a cup of coffee in the morning, appreciating the comfort of your bed, or feeling grateful for a friend's kindness. Slow living also encourages us to be more connected to our food. This might involve cooking more meals from scratch, growing some of your own vegetables if possible, or simply taking the time to really taste and enjoy your food instead of eating on the go. In our relationships, slow living means being fully present with others. It's about having deep conversations, really listening, and creating meaningful connections. Instead of quick texts or likes on social media, it might mean writing a heartfelt letter to a friend or having a long phone call with a family member. Slow living isn't about perfection. It's not another thing to stress about or feel guilty over. It's a gentle approach to life that allows for mistakes and learning. It's about progress, not perfection. Some days you might be more slow than others, and that's okay. It's also important to note that slow living looks different for everyone. For some, it might mean moving to the countryside and living off the land. For others, it could simply mean carving out more quiet time in a busy city life. The key is finding what works for you and what helps you feel more connected and content. Slow living isn't anti-technology, but it does encourage mindful use of it. Instead of being constantly connected and reactive to every notification, it's about using technology intentionally to enhance our lives rather than distract from them. One beautiful aspect of slow living is how it can help us rediscover creativity and play. When we're not rushing from one task to another, we have time to explore hobbies, try new things, and simply have fun. This could be anything from painting to gardening to learning a musical instrument. Slow living also extends to how we consume. Instead of buying things impulsively, it encourages us to think about what we really need and to choose quality over quantity. This might mean saving up for a well-made item that will last for years instead of buying cheap, disposable alternatives. In our work lives, slow living doesn't mean being unproductive. Instead, it's about working smarter, not harder. It's about focusing on what's truly important and letting go of busy work. It might mean taking regular breaks to recharge, setting clear boundaries between work and personal time, or finding work that aligns with your values. Slow living can also help us be more environmentally conscious. When we slow down and become more aware of our actions, we often naturally start making choices that are better for the planet. This might include reducing waste, choosing sustainable products, or simply appreciating and wanting to protect nature more. One of the most powerful aspects of slow living is how it can change our relationship with time. Instead of always feeling like we're running out of time, we start to feel like we have enough. We learn to enjoy the process of things, not just rush to the end result. Slow living can also help us deal better with stress and challenges. By cultivating a calmer, more centered way of life, we become more resilient. When problems do arise, we're better equipped to handle them with grace and wisdom instead of panicking or reacting impulsively. It's worth noting that transitioning to a slower way of living can be challenging at first, especially if you're used to a fast-paced lifestyle. It's okay to start small. Even tiny changes like taking a few deep breaths before starting your day or having one meal without distractions can start to make a difference. Slow living also invites us to reconnect with our bodies. In our rush world, we often ignore what our bodies are telling us. Slow living encourages us to listen to our bodies, whether that means getting more sleep, moving in ways that feel good, or eating when we're truly hungry. Another beautiful aspect of slow living is how it can enhance our appreciation of beauty. When we slow down, we start to notice the small, everyday moments of beauty around us. A bird's song, the way light falls on a wall, the smile of a loved one. These moments enrich our lives in ways that material possessions never can. Slow living can also improve our decision-making. When we're not constantly rushed and stressed, we can think more clearly and make choices that align better with our true values and goals. It's like the difference between grabbing whatever's closest when you're starving versus thoughtfully choosing a meal when you're calm and have time. In essence, slow living is about creating a life that feels good on the inside, not one that just looks good on the outside. It's about defining success and happiness for yourself, rather than chasing society's definitions. It's a way of living that can lead to more joy, more peace, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. So, are you ready to slow down and start really living? Let's talk about the first key to slow living: mindfulness. Now, don't worry. This isn't about sitting in silence for hours or twisting yourself into complicated yoga poses. Mindfulness is simply about being aware of the present moment. It's paying attention to what's happening right now, both around you and inside you. Think about how often your mind wanders during the day. You might be washing dishes, but your thoughts are on tomorrow's meeting. Or you're in a conversation, but you're thinking about what to say next instead of really listening. Mindfulness is the practice of gently bringing your attention back to the present moment. Why is this so important for slow living? Well, when we're mindful, we actually experience our lives as they're happening. We taste our food instead of just eating it. We feel the warmth of the sun on our skin instead of just rushing from place to place. We really hear what our loved ones are saying instead of just nodding along. Here's a simple way to practice mindfulness. Next time you're doing something routine, like brushing your teeth or walking to the mailbox, try to focus all your attention on that activity. Notice the sensations, the smells, the sounds. When your mind starts to wander, and it will, just gently bring it back to what you're doing. Mindfulness also helps us notice our thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. It's like watching clouds pass in the sky. You see them, but you don't have to chase after everyone. This can be really helpful when we're feeling stressed or upset. Instead of getting swept away by emotions, we can observe them and respond more calmly. Being mindful doesn't mean you have to be serious all the time. In fact, it can help you enjoy fun moments even more. When you're laughing with friends or playing with a pet, being fully present can make those experiences richer and more satisfying. Mindfulness can also help us make better choices. When we're aware of what we're doing, we're less likely to act on autopilot. We might notice we're reaching for a snack when we're not really hungry, or scrolling through social media when we meant to go to bed. Remember, becoming mindful is a practice. You don't have to be perfect at it. Even a few mindful moments each day can start to make a big difference in how you experience life. It's like building a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. Now let's move on to the second key to slow living: simplifying. In our modern world, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that more is always better. More stuff, more activities, more commitments. But what if having less could actually give us more? That's what simplifying is all about. Simplifying doesn't mean you have to get rid of everything and live in an empty room. It's about figuring out what's truly important to you and letting go of the rest. It's like clearing out a cluttered closet. When you get rid of the stuff you never wear, it's easier to see and enjoy the clothes you love. One way to start simplifying is to look at your possessions. Do you have things that you never use but keep just in case? Or things that don't bring you joy but you feel obligated to keep? Try picking one small area, a drawer or a shelf, and sorting through it. Keep what you truly need or love and let go of the rest. You might be surprised at how freeing it feels. But simplifying isn't just about stuff. It's also about how we spend our time and energy. Many of us have schedules so packed that we're exhausted all the time. Simplifying might mean learning to say no to commitments that don't align with your values or bring you joy. It's about quality over quantity in our activities and relationships. Simplifying can also apply to our digital lives. Do you feel overwhelmed by emails, notifications, and social media? Try unsubscribing from newsletters you never read, turning off non-essential notifications, or setting specific times to check social media instead of constantly scrolling. When we simplify, we create space, both physical and mental. This space allows us to breathe, to think, to be creative. It's like clearing weeds from a garden. It gives the plants, or in this case, the important parts of our lives, room to grow and flourish. Simplifying can also help reduce stress. When we have less to manage, whether it's possessions, commitments, or digital clutter, we have less to worry about. It's easier to focus on what truly matters. Remember, simplifying is a personal process. What feels simple and manageable for one person might be different for another. The key is to find a level of simplicity that feels good and sustainable for you. The third key to slow living is something that might surprise you: connecting with nature. In our busy, tech-filled lives, it's easy to forget that we're part of the natural world. But reconnecting with nature can have a powerful effect on our well-being and our ability to live slowly and mindfully. You don't have to move to the wilderness to connect with nature. It can be as simple as spending a few minutes each day outside, feeling the sun on your face or the grass under your feet. Notice the trees in your neighborhood. Watch the clouds move across the sky, or listen to the birds singing. If you can, try to spend more time in green spaces. Studies have shown that being in nature can reduce stress, improve mood, and even boost our immune systems. It's like a natural reset button for our overstimulated minds. Connecting with nature also helps us tune into natural rhythms. We start to notice the changing seasons, the patterns of day and night. This can help us live more in sync with these natural cycles, which is a big part of slow living. Gardening, even if it's just a few herbs on a windowsill, can be a great way to connect with nature. There's something deeply satisfying about nurturing a plant and watching it grow. It teaches us patience and the joy of slow, steady progress. Nature can also be a great teacher of mindfulness. When you're walking in a park or sitting by a stream, it's easier to be present in the moment. The sights, sounds, and smells of nature naturally draw our attention to the here and now. Connecting with nature can also help us appreciate the simple things in life. The beauty of a flower, the taste of fresh, seasonal food, the feel of a cool breeze. These simple pleasures are at the heart of slow living. Even if you live in a big city, you can find ways to connect with nature. Visit a local park, tend to some houseplants, or even just watch nature documentaries. The key is to cultivate an awareness of the natural world and our place in it. Remember, connecting with nature isn't about adding another thing to your to-do list. It's about slowing down and noticing the natural world that's always around us. It's about remembering that we're part of something bigger than our day-to-day concerns. As you practice connecting with nature, you might find that it changes how you see the world. You might become more aware of environmental issues and want to live in a way that's kinder to the planet. This is another beautiful aspect of slow living. It often leads us to make choices that are better for ourselves and for the world around us. Connecting with nature can also spark creativity and wonder. Have you ever noticed how a walk outside can help clear your mind and give you new ideas? Nature has a way of inspiring us and helping us see things from new perspectives. Even in our technological age, humans have a deep need for connection with the natural world. It's part of who we are. By consciously making time to connect with nature, we're honoring this fundamental part of ourselves. So, as you explore slow living, don't forget to step outside. Feel the earth beneath your feet, breathe in the fresh air, and take a moment to appreciate the incredible natural world we're a part of. It's a simple act, but it can have a profound impact on how we experience life. Common challenges in slow living. As we journey into slow living, it's important to recognize that it's not always easy. We might face some challenges along the way. Let's talk about some common obstacles and how we can overcome them. One of the biggest challenges is the fear of missing out, or FOMO. In our fast-paced world, there's always something happening. We might worry that if we slow down, we'll miss opportunities or fall behind. But remember, slow living isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing what matters most to you. Instead of trying to do everything, focus on the things that truly bring you joy and fulfillment. Another challenge is the pressure from others who don't understand slow living. Friends, family, or coworkers might not get why you're choosing to live differently. They might even criticize your choices. It's important to remember that you're doing this for your own well-being. You don't need to justify your choices to anyone. Instead, try to explain the benefits you're experiencing. Your peace and happiness might even inspire others to slow down too. Guilt can also be a big obstacle. We're often taught that being busy equals being productive or valuable. When we start to slow down, we might feel guilty for not doing enough. But ask yourself, enough for who? Slow living is about redefining what enough means for you. It's about quality, not quantity. Remember, taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. Sometimes our own habits can be the biggest challenge. If you're used to always being busy, slowing down might feel uncomfortable at first. You might even feel anxious or restless when you're not doing something. This is normal. It takes time to adjust to a new way of living. Be patient with yourself. Start with small changes and gradually build new habits. Technology can also be a hurdle in slow living. Our devices are designed to grab our attention and keep us engaged. It can be hard to unplug and be present. Try setting specific times for checking emails or social media. Use apps that limit your screen time if needed. Remember, technology should be a tool that serves you, not something that controls your time and attention. Another challenge can be feeling like you're not making progress fast enough. In a world that values quick results, the gradual pace of slow living might feel frustrating at times. But real, lasting change takes time. Focus on the small improvements you're making each day. Celebrate the moments of peace and joy you experience. These are the true measures of progress in slow living. Now that we've talked about the keys to slow living and some common challenges, let's dive into a practical exercise to help you start your slow living journey. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about progress and finding what works for you. Let's start with a simple daily ritual. Choose one everyday activity. It could be your morning coffee, your commute to work, or your evening walk. For the next week, commit to doing this activity mindfully. Here's how. First, set an intention to be fully present during this activity. When it's time to do it, take a deep breath and remind yourself to focus. As you do the activity, use all your senses. If it's your morning coffee, notice the aroma, feel the warmth of the cup in your hands, taste the flavors, listen to the sounds around you. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back to the present moment. Don't judge yourself for getting distracted. Just come back to your senses and the activity. After the activity, take a moment to reflect. How did it feel to be fully present? Did you notice anything new or different? This exercise helps in several ways. It trains your mind to be more present, which is key to slow living. It helps you appreciate the simple moments in your day, and it creates a small pocket of calm and mindfulness, even on busy days. As you get comfortable with this, try expanding the practice to other parts of your day. You might be surprised at how these small moments of mindfulness can start to change your overall experience of life. Another practical step is to do a simple decluttering exercise. Choose one small area, a drawer, a shelf, or even just your wallet. Go through the items one by one. For each item, ask yourself, do I need this? Does it bring me joy? If the answer is no to both questions, consider letting it go. This isn't about getting rid of everything. It's about making space for what truly matters to you. Next, try digital declutter. Look at the apps on your phone. Which ones do you actually use and enjoy? Which ones tend to waste your time or make you feel stressed? Consider deleting the apps that don't add value to your life. For the ones you keep, try turning off notifications. This small change can significantly reduce the number of times your attention is pulled away from the present moment. Another helpful exercise is to create a not-to-do list. We often focus on all the things we should be doing, but it's equally important to decide what we're not going to do. What activities or commitments can you let go to make more space for what's truly important? This might include things like not checking work emails after a certain time, not saying yes to every invitation, or not spending time with people who drain your energy. Lastly, try incorporating some nature connection into your routine. If possible, spend a few minutes outside each day, maybe in the morning with your coffee or in the evening after work. Notice the sky, the plants, the birds. Feel the air on your skin. This simple practice can help ground you and remind you of the natural rhythms of life. As we near the end of our exploration of slow living, let's talk about the wonderful benefits you might experience as you embrace this lifestyle. One of the most immediate benefits is reduced stress. When we slow down and stop trying to do everything at once, we naturally feel calmer. This can lead to better sleep, improved digestion, and an overall sense of well-being. Slow living can also lead to deeper, more meaningful relationships. When we're not rushing through conversations or constantly distracted by our phones, we can truly connect with the people around us. We become better listeners, more present partners, and more attentive friends and family members. Another benefit is increased creativity and productivity. It might seem counterintuitive, but slowing down can actually help us get more done. When we're not constantly stressed and overwhelmed, our minds are free to come up with new ideas and solutions. We're able to focus better on important tasks instead of just being busy all the time. Slow living can also lead to a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. When we're not caught up in the rat race, we have time to reflect on what truly matters to us. We can align our actions with our values, leading to a more authentic and satisfying life. Many people who embrace slow living report feeling more joyful and content. They're able to find pleasure in simple things: a beautiful sunset, a home-cooked meal, a good conversation. These small moments of joy add up to a richer, more satisfying life overall. Slow living can also improve our physical health. When we're less stressed and more in tune with our bodies, we tend to make better choices about food, exercise, and rest. We might find ourselves naturally drawn to healthier habits. Another benefit is increased mindfulness and presence. As we practice being in the moment, we become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. This can lead to greater self-understanding and a deeper appreciation for life. Slow living can also lead to more sustainable lifestyle choices. When we're not constantly consuming and rushing, we tend to make choices that are better for the environment. We might find ourselves buying less, wasting less, and appreciating what we have more. Many people find that slow living helps them develop more patience and resilience. When we're not expecting everything to happen instantly, we become better at dealing with delays and setbacks. We learn to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. Lastly, slow living can lead to a greater sense of connection with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. We might feel more in tune with natural rhythms, more connected to our communities, and more at peace with ourselves. As we wrap up our exploration of slow living, remember that this is not about achieving perfection. It's about making small, meaningful changes that add up to a more fulfilling way of life. Slow living is a journey, not a destination. We've talked about the power of mindfulness, the freedom that comes with simplifying, and the joy of connecting with nature. We've discussed common challenges and how to overcome them. We've explored practical exercises to start your slow living journey, and we've highlighted the many benefits you might experience along the way. But perhaps the most important thing to remember is this: slow living is about creating a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. It's about defining success and happiness for yourself, rather than chasing after someone else's definition. As you move forward, be patient with yourself. Change takes time. Celebrate the small victories, the moments of peace, the deeper connections, the simple joys. These are the true measures of a life well lived. Remember, you have the power to choose how you want to live your life. You can choose to slow down, to be present, to focus on what truly matters to you. It might not always be easy, but it is always worth it. So, as you go about your day, I encourage you to take a deep breath. Look around you. What do you see? What do you feel? What really matters to you? Let these questions guide you as you create your own version of a slow, rich, meaningful life. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the art of slow living. May you find peace, joy, and fulfillment as you embrace a slower, more intentional way of life. Remember, life isn't about how fast you can go, it's about how much you can enjoy the journey. So slow down, breathe deep, and savor every moment. Your slow living adventure starts now.